Get that money, 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 money. I don't come to money, 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 money. Do it all for money, 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 money. Let me stack that money, 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 money. Come and get that money, 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 money. I don't come to money.
Good evening. Welcome to Plus Money Golf Show with the Pro and the Caddy. That would be Adam and Smitty. My name is Eric. I'm just the host. Chris is here keeping everything running, keeping the stream on the internet. That's what we need. We got Adam at AC Miller PGA, so we can check that box. We have a card. He's back. Smitty, how you feeling? What did you think of the match play? Are you recovered?
Yeah, I'm recovered. I was not feeling very well there, so my apologies for not being on last week's show, but I feel a lot better this week. And I mean, it was a pretty good week though, just to have to be sitting on a couch and hanging out and watching golf. Like the match play events were really fun to watch and super competitive, and some guys turning heads, and then some also not so good golf going on with like the likes of John Rahm for one. I mean, you want to talk about concern. If you're a John Rahm guy, you should be very, very concerned.
Well, if you're Luke Donald, you're really concerned because there was not a lot of European flags on that final 16 or even winning matches. I mean,
yeah, they
got a lot of work to do because the U.S. looked strong for 30 guys deep and
they really did.
Ryder Cup. I
That's
mean, Zach
fun.
Johnson had to have been taking notes because some of these guys that are kind of lesser name guys, but we talk about a lot, like Burns and Kitayama and Young, they were just stepping on people's throats like no other.
Yeah, you were right. Match play is different than your standard tournament.
Young was just stomping people out. So was JJ Spawn. I mean, Spawn just ran into a buzzsaw with Xander, but man, he stomped his whole bracket hard. It was just, Mackenzie Hughes played good. There was a lot of good play. I mean, for 200, what do they say, like 120 holes that Rory and Scotty played? I mean, it was the final, what was it, down to the final four that Rory and Young match went deep, and even the Scotty and Burns. I was surprised that those two guys end up beating Rory and Scotty. I think, but if you watch the consolation match, Scotty and Rory just look completely worn down. I mean,
yeah, I think
mentally.
I think a really interesting thing was for the weekend was watching Scotty actually struggle at times and hit human, because we don't really see that all that often in normal tournaments. And in this match play stuff, he struggled a little bit. He dug himself holes early and then had to climb out of them, and then would go back and forth and squeak it out at the end and everything. And yeah, you're right though, him and Rory both just kind of looked like who was going to pass out, and withhold the other guy there. So that was interesting to see. And then these young guys just seem to have so much more energy, and not that like Scotty Scheffler's old by any means, what I mean, but like some of these newer faces, I'll call it,
the guys that are playing week to week.
Right. They're playing every single week, and you'd think those guys are the ones that are going to burn out, but they're the ones who held strong. And I mean, man, golf is in a great place.
I mean, Scotty had a pretty tough lineup. I mean, Davis, Riley, Noren, and Kim, and then he has to go in and play Poston, who was coming in hot, and then play Jason Day, who was even hotter than that. It was just he had the hardest path to there, I felt.
If people didn't know about JT Poston until they started watching the match play, they do now. I mean, if you listen to this show, you know about JT Poston, obviously. But, like, man, the guy's so just even keel, goes out there, plays golf, does his job, hits putts, goes on to the next hole, I mean, he's fun.
I thought he was going to go deeper. I mean, I said
So did I.
the week before, I was like, if he gets his putting fixed before match play, it's going to be game over for some of these guys. And he closed out his bracket pretty easy. So that was great to see Kuchar and Day play really good. We've kind of been on them for the last few weeks, but man, both of those guys looked really sharp. Day just kind of looked like his allergies bothered him, and then he kind of got worn down from. It seemed like after he got the allergy medicine at the turn, he just like dropped off against Scotty. I don't know if it affected him, like his mind or, like just got head fog or whatever, but he seemed to really slow down his momentum after that.
Kuchar seems like Scotty as another unaffected, just calm all the time, no matter what guy. He'll kick your ass and tell you had a great afternoon and smile and shake your hand, and you can't be mad at him.
And Kuchar tied those most match play wins with Tiger. He said something was like, "Oh, that's good to know. I actually tied one of Tiger's record. Now I only have 300 more to catch up to him."
Yeah.
I mean, but Kuchar makes it out of his group, and then he almost takes down Day, right? I mean, that says a lot about him moving forward.
And Day got in the Masters because he got to the final 16, or final 8, I guess. So yeah, it was good for him. He's
for sure.
Good play this year's really paid off.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Jason Day's arguably one of the best players in the world right now with how he's been playing in 23. It's crazy. All of a sudden, he's just back.
He was disappeared for 3-4 years. I
right.
mean, just off the planet.
So do these match play results sort of indicate where we should be looking for the Masters? These are the kind of the guys who are playing well at the moment under pressure? Or are they not related, the two courses?
I mean, the only time I would say that it's really going to make a difference is like, was it the year Tiger won where we had 4 guys that were just taking it deep and it was almost like a match play situation? Or you have that quite often now at the end of Sunday where you've got 3 guys and it's just try to make as many birdies as possible. So Augusta is just a whole different animal. I mean, some of these guys that have never been there, never played there, are really going to have their hands full because you've got guys like Day and Scotty, and Scotty hasn't been there that many times, but Day and even Kuchar or Spieth, who have seen every possible type of weather there, every possible condition. Mm-hmm. So, but
yeah, the experience of guys at Augusta is second to none.
I think some of the guys like maybe Poston, who doesn't seem to get like overwhelmed by much, could maybe do well there just because it's not going to be like I'm at Augusta, like the whole got to play 18 every day. Like the guys that get there and they just get burned out by Wednesday. And then when it's tournament day, they've tried to play 7 rounds before the tournament and they're just smoked.
And Poston is a machine on the greens.
Yeah.
So that helps.
You got to look for guys that are good, really good with their driver and really good putters or short game guys that make a lot of up and downs, saves. Sand saves are really important at Augusta, but
Spieth.
It's the guy's unreal from the bunkers.
He's crazy.
Homa, I mean, Max Homa's getting to be a Spieth bunker guy. Like, how many highlights have we seen already this year of him holing out from a bunker?
You're talking about 2 of my favorite golfers in the world. So yes, I'm very much aware of those 2 guys and what they can do on the golf course.
But I think Rory, with the way he drove the ball this week, and putted with a brand new putter, brand new driver shaft, has got to be. I mean, he's got to be feeling like he could win this year, like for sure. He didn't hit very many wayward drives, maybe a few, but at 120 holes, that's pretty good.
How confident did Rory look off the tee?
He was just lacing every hole.
Dude,
insane.
These guys were hitting the ball so fucking hard. They're coming off the ground.
Yeah,
so I think it was Scotty I saw hit a drive. He came completely off the ground at the point of contact.
I mean, the course that they were playing is designed for that almost, where you have these big severe downslopes in the landing areas. So it's not a course that's probably designed for tour play. It's more for your average 280 off the tee guy, but these guys were pounding it 370, 380. I mean, anytime you give them wedges in their hand, it's going to be game over.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit of a different experience. Should we get into this week? The Valero Texas Open at TPC San Antonio, built for pros, experienced by you. That's what it says on the website. The bunkers in this place are ridiculous. You're like multiple feet in the ground, below the tee, or not below the tee, below the flag. And I see some of this tall grass too. Are they doing a nod to the British courses here? Is that what they're going for? Or
I think it's just the design of the course. It's a
yeah.
I think it was redone not too long ago. I want to
Now I'm
say
thinking-
maybe Sergio did this course.
Sergio. I know Sergio.
But it's a great course. It's a TPC course. I don't know if JT's not
Ooh.
playing this week, but
That was my next question.
he's taking the week off. I mean, he's already in the Masters, so he doesn't need to play
He needs
a
I don't
break.
know, a lot. He needs a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, he needs to just hit the greens.
And
Hit the
that Jordan is really feeling like he can win the Masters if he's not playing this week either.
Yeah.
I think that's a big statement by him not playing in this one, saying I need to be ready for next week because I can win this damn thing.
He's right where you want to be. I mean, he's been playing really well lately.
He has. He didn't drive the ball that great. He didn't. I thought
it's
that was
crazy.
probably the weakest part of the game that week.
It's crazy
week.
though how he's been scrambling though lately, which I feel like a lot of times, I mean, not without looking at the numbers and everything right now, but a lot of times when he struggles off the tee, he is just a mess everywhere. But he's been scrambling really well, but again, he misses a green, goes into a bunker, puts it to a foot.
The dude isn't.
Just walks away.
I would probably say like Phil in his prime and maybe Tiger in his prime are the only two that would have a short game. It's like if you had a chip to save your life, who would you pick, Jordan, Tiger, or Phil? And it's like just flip a coin because they're all good. He just finds a way. I think was 2 years ago when he was driving the ball so bad that his short game really got good because obviously if you're driving it bad, you got to have something go your way.
Sort of lose one sense, the other one gets better.
Yeah, but he's definitely got the distance. But I mean, it's Jordan and it's the Masters and the guy's always in contention there. Has been since he's started playing there.
I was sad though that he's not playing this week.
Yep, I'm a little bummed JT Poston's not playing.
I think Jordan has a history of playing tournaments that he's been loyal to, but when he's before a major, he's been known to not play just to refresh.
Oh yeah, Texas. He makes sure to play most of the Texas courses, I'd assume.
And he may have missed the sign up date knowing that he had match play thinking he was going to play on Saturday. And I think the sign up deadlines are like Friday at 5. So he probably thought he was going to go deep in this and didn't make it. So
that makes sense too.
I mean, he's going to be down there all week, but my understanding, I don't know if it's true or not, but that Augusta does put pressure on past champions to be there for like the women's Saturday for the women's final round, to shake hands and congratulate the girls, and definitely on Sunday for the drive, chip, and putt. Because if you got kids in golf, or even if you just watch casual golf, this Sunday is going to be like, it's the best thing to watch from 7 a.m. till noon. It's just the drive, chip, and putt is probably the coolest thing you'll ever see. And it's these kids from like 7 to 15 that qualify locally. Then they have a regional, and then they have like a sectional. And then those kids get to advance to Augusta. And it's like the coolest thing ever.
Those kids are about 20 times better at golf than your average Joe six-pack out there swinging a club.
Probably more than 20 times.
Watching some of the shots these guys were making during match play, like getting themselves out of jams and stuff, I'm thinking, man, if I had 100 or even 500 tries, I don't think I could do that. Chip it up 10
Yeah.
feet, above the elevation that I'm on, and then have it stop and roll back towards the hole, which is to say that I knew which direction it was even going to land in the first place to put some spin on it. It's crazy when you start thinking about the geometry and physics of it. Like, I played a lot of pool, and I guess that's the same kind of, like, you see the lines as you're looking at the golf shot, I assume, for your veteran golfers, but there's, wind. There's no wind involved in a billiards game.
Yeah, that shows like what they practice. I mean, they practice those shots when they're out there, but you'll see it a lot at Augusta if you ever go. Practice rounds, they do chipping from all over, but they'll probably spend 80% of their time practicing during the week at the short game area, because this is where, I mean, that it's a totally different animal chipping at Augusta.
Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, your short game is where you're going to make your money anyways, but when it comes to some place like Augusta, if you don't have your short game down, you can kiss it goodbye.
Yeah. Don't even bother showing up, driving down that big long driveway.
I mean,
it'll
really,
be great this week, because we'll see every third commercial will be a Masters commercial.
A tradition unlike any other. Jim Nance,
so
Jim
good.
Nance still doing that.
Oh yeah,
He's retiring from college basketball, isn't he? But he's still going to do golf.
Yeah.
Good. Hello, friends. You got to have Jim Nance.
With Trevor Immelman, I think's the new guy for golf.
Oh, I don't know my golf commentators yet.
But it should be good. I mean, I'll be watching all week starting tomorrow. The women's tournament starts tomorrow, and Sunday for sure, drive, chip, and putt. Saturday for the women's, and then, the TV coverage starts on Monday. So we'll be able to watch plenty of interviews before the show next week.
Man, if you're a college football fan and a golf guy, this is really just the sweetest little 2-week, 3-4 week period in sports. You get your Masters right as the tournament wraps up. It's a beautiful thing. I love it because the Masters tells me that winter has to loosen its icy grip at some point. The Masters is on. The birds are singing. It's about to be nice out. Didn't they get busted using imported bird noises, like bird songs of birds that don't actually live down there?
I've been there. I mean, it's you. I don't know if it's pumped in, but I don't think so, because there's no speakers anywhere.
I don't know why you'd need to add anything to Augusta.
It's the only place I've ever been to where you can stand in a crowd of 400 people and you can hear birds and you can hear nothing. I mean, it's like the strangest thing ever.
Highly civilized inside the boundaries of Augusta.
Even the guys that drink 50 beers in a day are still civilized. It's not. It's like opposite of the waste management. Like, a guy can drink 50 at waste management and he's got a shirt off. A guy drinks 50 at Augusta and he's, can still walk.
Why? How dare you remark upon my consumption? I does what I want.
And the beers are like $3 compared to $14 at Waste Management.
Adam's there drinking his 50 beers with his bird book. Yeah. Going through, looking up. Oh, what is that one?
Okay. Double-tailed finch.
Actually, last time I was there, we were drinking free scotch. So
that sucks.
Bad. It's not a bad way to live. Well, we'll get into these picks, but first, when you jot these picks down on your little post-it note, here's a place you can go to put those things to work for you. Over the weekend, go see our friends at Jazz Online Sportsbook, Casino, and Racebook.
Jazz, Sportsbook, Casino, and Racebook, the world's best resource for all-purpose online wagering. For over 20 years, Jazz has provided the best and quickest payouts in sports and entertainment wagers. Live sports betting, covering all the major sports leagues, and even into the new and exciting world of esports. Down the stretch you'll come, with Jazz's online horse wagering. Get paid when you play with Jazz's fun and exciting online casino games. Go online now and use the promo code TSS for our new members deals. Jazz Sportsbook, Casino, and Racebook, the world's best resource for online wagering.
Down the stretch you'll come. Gets me every time. Love it. All right. Top 20s. I haven't even looked at the odds. I started looking at the course and I got lost in its eyes. It's so beautiful.
Do we need to talk a little
kept
bit more
looking
of the
at the
course or
course.
not?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very interested. These bunkers and strategically placed trees. I assume these bunkers are placed right to the maximum distance of a lot of guys' drives or within 20 yards. So you
Yeah,
got
it
to
looks
decide
like
to hit it over or lay up.
I like these bunkers because it's like the grass edged. They're not like where the bunkers don't just slope into the greens don't just tilt right in the bunkers. You've got grass, so they'll probably grow it up to be a little thicker. And
Yeah,
one
I think the bunkers are more strategically placed here. There's not like a million of them, but there's enough to where they put them in spots where they're going to be troublesome for guys.
and they do usually set this course up to play similar to Augusta. So the way they mow the fairways, just to give the guys playing like a little bit of kind of taste of what they're going to get next week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool with the way they do that.
This clubhouse is something else. It looks like a castle.
Yeah, it's like a JW Marriott property.
Yeah, I saw a giant water park in there.
Yeah, it's sick. So that I mean, like, if you're playing this week and you've got kids, like, this is probably the best tournament to go to because you can just dump your kids at the water park all day and not have to worry about it.
Am I looking at a bunker in the middle of the green?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's brilliant. Why have I never seen that before? Is this the only one?
I think so. But the way the green slopes, you can putt around it. I think a couple years ago, maybe I was trying to think who. Not Tyrell Hatton, but one of the guys actually chipped across. So he was right in between where the pin was, and he just like chipped it right across there.
That's what I want to see. I wonder if there's odds on that. Somebody skips one across the.
It's a
green
Pete Dye
bunker.
course, so it's going to play similar to the players, but it's a good track.
All right. Do we have any past winners in this field, or are most of your past winners taken off this weekend?
We got JJ Spawn.
Yeah.
Was playing. He won last year.
Yeah.
Spieth was in 21. Corey Connors is playing. He won in 19.
I was about to say I had him. That's the one guy I brought tonight. I saw him on the list.
Charlie Hoffman's finished twice. Second twice.
He won in 16. And then like Andrew Landry won in 18, Kevin Chappell in 17, Jimmy Walker in 15.
Dynamite.
I mean, this is one of the old events. You can go back to 1922 for this event. So this is one of like the old original events, like the Texas Open.
Well, I'm all over Corey Connors this weekend then. I saw that name in the list, and I remembered him from some of the TPC courses. I thought, doesn't Smitty pick that guy?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. I was trying to see who all old guys that have won. There's, Palmer's won this thing a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Watson in 87.
Old Tom Watson.
There's not a lot of history of playoffs in this event. I mean, the last playoff was in 09, Zach Johnson, who won back-to-back in 08 and 09.
It's weird with scoring last year how like Spawn won at 13 under last year. And then you look at previous years, like the previous 3 years, 4 years, not counting 20, but like Spieth won at 18 under, Connors at 20 under, Landry at 17 under. And then it goes back to 12 under, 12 under, 11 under. So it's, have they shifted things a little bit since the last like 3-4 years to where it's like, all right, or were guys just lightning?
I think some of it may be weather controlled. They've only been playing here since 2010. Before they were at La Cantera, which is a sweet track.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just the depth of field or something. I don't know.
I found that to be a little interesting though, because there's just 3 years that don't seem to fit.
Well, that's interesting. Kuchar finished runner-up last year.
Yeah.
So that's a good pick after watching him last week.
Kuchar, I'm seeing at 30-1 to win.
Yeah, I mean,
top 20. I'm getting ahead of myself.
didn't watch him play last week.
Yeah, Kuchar's plus 140 for top 20.
Yep.
Spawn plus 150.
I mean, the two favorites are Tyrell Hatton and Ricky Fowler, which,
Yeah.
I mean, when was
It's crazy too, though, that
favorite?
even being a favorite, Ricky for top 20 is even money.
Yeah.
You know, the only guy who's not plus money is Tyrell Hatton at minus 125 to be a top 20.
Yeah, he didn't do anything last week, did he?
Yeah,
Well,
why?
He went out. I believe he had a hand injury last week. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
There's some sort of hand injury and everything. So that's kind of a deal with him. And I'm not really sure the extent of the injury, but I kind of just heard about it. And
He was on the weakest bracket, and he was the favorite and didn't make it out.
yeah, he kind of bowed out, I think. But I think it was more injury related than anything else. But
Well, either way, can't have it.
Seems like if you were
Yeah.
injured the week before, this week's not going to be a great week. Like
Yeah.
Matsuyama, who, you know, he pulled out last week, why would you just not go to Augusta? I don't know. I mean, he's a past champion. Why wouldn't you just go?
It's like taking Thursday off work and going in Friday. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Makes no sense. Besides that and his 14 putting aids that he had while he was working on his putting, it was almost
he seems
too
like a
much.
weird dude that I try not to dig into him too much.
Even Brad Faxon, who's a putting guru who helps Rory, was like, that's too much for me to even look at.
Can't handle it. All right, let's see. Where do we start? Smitty, what do you got for top 20s here at TPC San Antone?
All right, so I have
Plus Money Golf app first.
my first guy I want to mention is a guy that should have been in the top 20 a couple weeks ago, but literally tripled on 18 to fall out of the top 20, which pissed me off. Alex Smalley at plus 280. I think he does the right things that this course needs to be successful. I think he can be a guy who can sneak in the top 20 there. Then I have Nikolai Hogard at plus 240. He's been playing really good golf. His past 7 events globally, just because he doesn't, obviously doesn't play all the time in the PGA Tour events and everything, but his past 7 events globally, he's had 5 top 15 finishes, and then obviously, runner up last week at the Punta Cana. So he's a guy who's playing some good golf right now. Then I have Matt Wallace plus 190. He's going to continue playing some good golf this week.
He won last week, right?
Correct. He was the winner last week. Yep.
And he did good the week before too. He was like a top 5, maybe.
Yeah, I like his game. I mean, like I said, I was laying on a couch pretty much all weekend watching this, and I just really liked the way that he played, and I felt like he was worth plus 190 on a top 20. Then I have a guy who is lightning in a bottle, and he showed it, was Akshay Bhatia, plus 360, top 20. Dude shoots a 63 on Saturday, was it? And then comes back and just, I don't know, he just kind of fizzles out. But he's a guy that has all the potential in the world to win any tournament that he's in. And I feel like with this field this week, it's a really great opportunity for him to cash in the top 20 and for us to cash in at plus 360.
I like that.
And then I have my last guy. My last guy I put in was Charlie Hoffman at plus 400 for a top 20.
Haven't heard that name in a while.
Past winner, weak field, guy who's played there a lot. I'm hoping that he can sneak in top 20, pay us out a little bit.
Well, every time we mention guys on our text chain or on Discord, like, oh, that guy's getting hot, then they just seem to like run into a brick wall. So if one of our picks gets close, if Ricky's getting close to winning this week, we might want to just like go to radio silence like we did, when JT won. It was just radio silence for 13 holes.
Oh man, that was a highly energized afternoon. Just refreshing. It was the 4th of July weekend. I was out doing stuff I couldn't even watch. So what do you got for top 20s, Adam?
I got a Beesenhoot at 230. I just think I think he played last week, but didn't do very well. He didn't make it out of his bracket, but this is a kind of a weaker field. He usually does pretty well in the top 20s.
He did real well at the Players, didn't
Yeah. And then Shank at 260 because I've picked him and he's done pretty well the last few times. So that's about my only reasoning for that. He's a pretty steady player. He could possibly get a win. So, and then Eric Cole at 300. I'm just going to keep riding him until he gets a top 20. And then
Gotta happen.
Eric Van Ruin at plus 360. He kind of plays these longer courses pretty well because he's a bomber. And he'll have wedge in his hand a lot. And then my last guy for a top 20 was for Coach, but he does owe us a drink because he talked us into. He said we need to pick this guy, and we were just like, I don't know, and he didn't win. So Coach does owe us a drink. So, but I picked Dylan Wu at plus 400 for a top 20. He did get in the top 20, but he didn't win. So,
yep, the St. Hand Grenades. Coach told us he would win.
Yeah, and he didn't win, but I figured I'll just give him a little boost this week. So.
There you go, Coach. Now he'll come through. I thought it was Brandon Wu.
Is it?
Dylan
Okay.
Wu. No, you're probably right.
I
We're
think
still,
there's two
we're still
of
with
them.
the Woo. There is, yeah.
It's Brandon Wu.
Ah, look at that. Hey, I'm learning.
There is a Dylan
Brandon
Wu
Wu.
too.
There we go.
Actually, I picked Dylan Wu, not Brandon Wu.
See, you got to specify these things.
Brandon
Woos
Wu's
are
at
like William-
350.
Nah, we like Dylan Wu, 400. Who's in your top 10, Smitty? You got any Woos?
I do have Si Woo Kim at plus
There we go.
240.
There's a Wu.
So there's a Woo. I mean, with Siwoo, I've talked about him before, right? And his capability on the golf course. The guy can really play. And he's been, even with his misses, like off the tee this week, like driving accuracy is going to be important. Even his misses have been salvageable off the fairway. So I feel like, with that on this course, and then on top of the fact that he can go 64 if he really, on any given day, he's a guy that I feel like can be in the top 10 there. I have Corey Connors at plus 260. Guy's proven to be able to win here, obviously, and plays really well every single year for the most part. I have Matt Kuchar at plus 300. We just talked about him and the things he's been doing this year. I think with this kind of field too, and the kind of golf he's been playing this year, I mean, how is he not?
Yeah.
How is he not?
Runner-up.
How are his and a runner up last year? How are his odds not a little bit better here? Still being 30-1 to win. But
I think last year he had to win to be able to get into the Masters, and he didn't win.
He did, and he didn't. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So that was like the first time in 12 years that he hadn't played in the Masters or something like that. So then I have Ricky Fowler at plus 210. And then also have Nikolai Hogard at plus 500, top 10. That guy can play some golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially lately.
I'm excited about my top 10. I like my top 10, so they'll probably be shitty, but
I must have cut out. I have 4. I got Siwoo Kim, Corey Connors, Kuchar, and Fowler.
And Hogard.
And Hogard.
Hogard.
Plus 500, baby.
Ooh. Hey, glad we doubled back for that one.
Yes, sir.
We should do after we do our winners, we should put together one of those underdog pick'em contests. Did you not crush the last one? I believe I saw some profits roll into the account.
Yeah, I usually do pretty good with underdogs in the PGA. I like it. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah, football is tricky But golf, if you know the golf and you know to go like birdies or strokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I'm being on vacation. It's and 3 little kids running around me all the time. It's a little tough.
Exactly. Vacation is not about Smitty and his golf picks. It's about
No, it's
water
not.
slides or pancakes or whatever the kids want to do. Who's going to win this golf tournament, though? Somebody's going to. We do. No, we didn't. Nope. I don't have your 10, Adam.
Yeah, we haven't got to that yet.
Jeez. Getting
That's
ahead
all
of
right.
myself. This is why I write everything down in the notes app. Adam, 10.
Yeah.
Space. All right.
So I have Akshay Bhatia at 850 for a top 10. Just he's been steady. I think he's getting closer and closer.
I wanted to take him there.
850.
I really I love the guy's game, and he's.
I hope that guy comes to Deer this year because I want to go see him play in person.
I love his swing too.
Yep. And then I picked Bo Hostler at 550 because we're at Texas and he's a Texas guy. And
550?
yeah, for a top
Nice.
10. And then Taylor Pendrith at 600. Just I don't know. His name just stood out to me.
He was my 6th guy for a top 20.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I keep him off this list? Do I not? I don't know. I mean, because when he's healthy, he's proven to play really well, and he's a really good golfer. So I was looking at him like, there's got to be something else that goes into this with what his odds are for this week, and I couldn't really find a whole lot to tell me one way or the other, so I just ended up leaving him off.
Yeah. And then my 4th guy was Pearson Cootie at 1,200 for a top 10 because he's another Texas guy. And I just think being in Texas looked like there was a lot of former TU players in the field. So I liked him. And then my 5th guy was Lucas Glover at 1,400. He's been slowly playing good all year, just sneaking around. He'll either have a top 20 or a 10, and then he'll just fall off. But such a good dude. I mean, it's hard to root against the guy.
Especially when it pays 14 to 1 to root
for a
the
top
guy.
10. It's crazy.
Yeah. What were the odds on Cootie? I was too busy laughing.
1,200. I think he's just playing this week. I don't think his brother's playing.
The Cootie Bros.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's
Watch
just Pearson.
out, Texas. Hide your daughters. Hide your wives.
Cam
Cootie
Champ
Bros.
is at 1,400. It's crazy.
And these books don't know what they're doing. That's where we come in.
Actually, Luke Donald's playing too. I just saw that. A plus 2,500 for a top 10. He's another one of those guys that's just been like hanging around.
Then it's about time to break through for old Luke Donald. One of these Lukes.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a, he's got to catch up to Day and Kuchar, who are kind of resurging their career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't pick Max McGreevy this week, so we're safe there. That'll probably be the week he does well. He'll probably win this week when he's at plus 150,000 to win. Plus 150,000 for Max McGreevy to win.
Wasn't he down in Punta Cana, like hanging around the top 5?
And he got he finished T50.
Oh, he had
one bad round. Same with Gliglick, was playing pretty good and had one bad round.
Wyndham Clark just had a few mediocre rounds in a row. I knew when the book had Wyndham Clark specific bets that he probably wasn't going to win.
Yeah. I mean, here's the bet. If you just wanted to sprinkle a little bit on a guy that's still a good player, still decently long, a little older, but Davis Love is a plus 18,000 for a top 10. He's at 250,000 to 1 to win. I mean, why would you? That's like worth $1 at least.
Yeah. I mean, shit, throw $10 on there and take a sabbatical.
I mean, how many times have we seen these older guys go to a lesser event and just crush it?
Nice.
Right, where their experience
nice weather.
And where their experience and understanding of golf courses just glows.
Yep.
I mean, how many times did Stricker win at John Deere? I mean, the guy was just a machine there.
Yep.
Smoking those young kids.
He's still playing well. So
Yeah.
Guy still knows how to swing a golf club. And side note, off topic, being in the state of Missouri right now, I just tried to submit something on Underdog, and it tells me that unfortunately Pick'em in Missouri is not offered. So like,
Missouri, get your shit together.
I can't sports bet
Yeah, but you
or
can DK
do
there, can you?
do fantasy sports there. Oh my god,
You can't
Jeez.
DK there?
no,
No.
No, if he can't play an underdog pick him,
Man.
he definitely can't go to DraftKings and do
I gotta
nothing.
drive. I gotta drive like an hour north right now and hop into Illinois and put in all my stuff.
You got to loop through Iowa when you're going down that way, or Kansas City.
Yeah, or I'll just be texting one of you guys my sign in and tell you what to put in.
Yep.
There you go.
If you live in a state that doesn't hate fun, go to underdogfantasy.com and use code PLUSMONEY, all one word, PLUSMONEY, and they'll match your entire deposit up to $100. You're walking in the door, you're hitting a $100 bet. There's no better way to get started. All right, we're down to winners. Smitty, what do you got? Corey Connors, 30-1, right?
He's not 30-1. I
Oh.
wish.
Oh, no, he's 18-1.
I will start with Ricky Fowler at plus 1,800. Dude's back's against the wall for the Masters. You know, if he wants to play in the Masters, he's got to win. And strokes gained and approach, putting, those types of things are all really big this week. And when his game is on, those are some of the things that are beautiful with him, especially, you know, his wedge game. When he's on, he's on. So if he's doing those things right this week, he's got a really good shot. Then I have Siwoo Kim at plus 2,200. He's more than talented against this field to win. I think that goes without being said. Then I have Matt Kuchar at plus 3,000. And then I have Corey Connors at plus 2,200. And then at plus 5,000, I have Nikolai Hogard. Hoping that his strong play can kind of continue to roll over into this week. Like I said, hit him in the top 20, top 10. And I mean, we're really cashing in if he wins this week. So
that'd be a nice little hit, 50-1.
For a second, I thought we were going to have all five the same picks.
I mean, even with him, you know, he's at for what is he right now for? Sorry, he's at plus 1,000 for a top 5 as well, which, I mean,
Wow.
some good money to be made on him if he continues to play. Because if he plays as well, if he plays like he did last week, he's going to be in the mix this weekend. There's no doubt about it. So if he continues to be consistent, I think he's got a real shot here, and his numbers are just too good right now after playing a really good tournament.
Yeah, you hang around and have a good round on Sunday. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
So you got a similar list, Adam? I'm gonna
I
guess
was
you
surprised. I thought it was going to be the same for a second there. So I have Ricky also at 1,800. I just feel like, man, he's due. He's getting closer and closer every week, and I feel like last week gave him some confidence, putting wise, and that he can still hang with the big dogs. So I got Ricky at 1,800, and then Siwoo Kim at 2,200. Just he's playing really good.
These are nice prices this week.
Yeah, and then I also have Kuchar at 3,000, who I feel like he's kind of the same situation as Ricky. They want to get in the Masters bad. I mean, Kuch can still play the par 3, but he probably wouldn't if he didn't get in. And then I picked Taylor Montgomery at 2,500 because he's been pretty steady too all year. And then had to go with JJ Spawn at 3,000 after last week. It just felt like, man, that guy, I thought he was going to run away with the thing after his second match. And then Xander just came out of the woodworks and put it to him. But he was playing really good, and I think he's just going to carry his good play over to this week too.
You'd see a guy win 5 or 6 holes and then lose 4.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Scotty was 3 up on Sam Burns, and then loses.
I thought that thing was over.
I mean, I think Burns was up and then Scotty just charged back and then it was like game over.
Am I looking at this right from last year that Spawn was plus 15,000?
Oh, it's possible.
I mean, so I was kind of digging into this a little bit here. So I was looking at this. You want to look at some of these odds that have won this. I mean, my Hogard pick, is kind of looking even prettier there. But like Spawn at 15,000, Spieth was 1,200, Corey Connors 20,000, Andrew Landry was plus 20,000. Then you have like Kevin Chappell at 3,300, Hoffman at 3,000, Walker 3,000. Like these numbers, the average in the last 13 years, 12 years, is plus 10,900 for the winner. So we were talking about, man, we're getting some really good odds on these guys.
Yeah.
Well, the reason is they have no idea who's going to win this thing.
I mean, if you go down to that, let's say 10,000 on DK, this is the names. You got Sepp Straka, SH Kim, Patrick Rogers, Van Ruin, Grillo, Eckhart,
Guys who could
Bahadia,
win.
Luke List, Joseph Bramlett, who played really good last week, Hoffman, Dylan Wu. I mean, those are all guys that are right in that 10,500 range. And
Guys that could win.
if they said, we'll just give you these 7 or 8 guys and against the field, you'd probably say, okay, yeah, there's some great players in there.
Yeah.
Austin
there
Eckroat
are.
played really good last week, and he's just kind of been creeping along there in the web, but he's one of those guys that's kind of like getting these web starts and tour starts because he's playing well week to week. So
And there's some guys that you even like, usually when you get down to like the plus 25,000s in that area, to 20,000, you're like, who the hell are these guys? Well, I mean, there's guys in here that we definitely know. You talk about like the guys like Cam Champ at plus 18,000. You have Michael Kim at plus 20,000, Harry Higgs at plus 20,000, Adam Long at 20. Stuart Sink is in there.
Francesco, I mean, Stuart Sink, didn't he win 1 or 2 events last year? In the wraparound, I'm pretty sure he won.
He might have, yeah. I mean, Jason Hadley's in there at plus 25,000. Callum Tarrant, my boy, is at plus 25,000.
Francesco Molinari's at 9,000, and he always starts to play good this time of year. Like Golf Digest said, 5 guys to watch this week: Ricky Fowler, Kuchar, Harry Higgs, Padraig Harrington, and Akshay Bahati. I mean, Padraig Harrington has really been playing good on both tours. But I didn't even see Stuart Sink on there. I probably would have picked that guy for a top 10 easily because he is still plenty long, but he's crafty.
Yeah,
same as Davis Love. I mean, at 250,000.
Yeah.
This tournament lacks star power, but there are a lot of solid golfers playing this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a lot of solid guys on the tour right now. Like you say,
it's
Smitty,
deep.
golf's in a good spot.
It is.
It's deep. I mean, obviously to bag on Liv, but I mean, if you look at their 40,
please do. Liv sucks.
If you look
I
at
won't
their,
even watch it.
I have tried, and it's not fun to watch.
It's brutal. I can't watch it.
You lose track of what you're watching because there's no like rhythm to it. But I mean, if you look at the depth of their fields compared to like, if you look on here, a guy's down to like 30th place, if Nick Watney's like could beat half those guys on Liv, and he's one of the lesser, like almost at the bottom of this list.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just amazing. And, like I read yesterday where they said DJ's only played 22 rounds since last year's 22 competitive rounds in the last year. So it's like, how is that guy getting competitive with, say, Davis Riley or, Cam Davis, who's played 40 plus rounds already this year, competitive?
Yeah. and below par for most of them, unlike
Yeah.
these live guys.
And
I
not
mean-
playing dudes who are washed like Phil Mickelson.
Yeah, I mean, the guy shoots 78 every round. I mean, it's really hard to say that the live guys are gonna. I mean, that's gonna be the greatest part of Augusta. It just adds a whole new layer of drama with the live guys there this year. But I think it's really going to be tough to go in there and pick a live guy, except maybe Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Because they're playing with, I wouldn't say B League, but B League players or guys who don't hardly play.
Mm-hmm.
Golf is a game to be at the top level. You have to play and play. And I mean, with the elevated events this year, half of these top guys on the PGA Tour have already played 24 to 28 rounds in elevated events.
Yeah, you have to be playing with competition that pushes you to be at your best. If you're playing with a bunch of shitty golfers, you're going to be just another one of the shitty golfers.
Yeah, and they make a big deal about, oh, he won $4 million like Danny Lee or Charles Howell. Like, I like Charles Howell. But, I mean, that Sam Burns just won $3.5 million and beat a lot of good players in a super deep field
What are you
compared
talking
to
about? It's comparable. Come on.
you could take the top 48 from the match play and play, 48 against 48, and it would be no match at all.
You want to talk about bad TV? That would be bad TV because it would be so lopsided.
I mean, it would be, I was trying to see, like, Adam Scott was the 45th ranked player. Taylor Montgomery was 44. 48th player in the match play was JT Poston. So if JT Poston is the worst guy on your squad in a 48 player match, I like my,
Yeah, you're doing pretty well.
make it like a club event, like 48 from this club and 48 from that club play. And I mean, I like JT Poston against Phil Mickelson, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
No way does Phil beat that guy ever.
Yeah, 12 out of 10.
Even when JT's missing 2-footers, because we've seen Phil miss a boatload of 2-footers that meant something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, iron sharpens iron, and these guys are doing the opposite of that over there.
I'm not sure I would trust sitting, or you know how like Phil would bring people out of the crowd and be like, "Here, stand here. I'm gonna hit practice shots, flop shots over the top."
I don't trust JT for that.
But I'm not sure I'm trusting Phil anymore for that. Like, seriously? I mean, I'm probably speaking a little bit too much, but like about that. But it's like the guy just isn't good at golf anymore.
No.
Like Fred Couple summed it up best when he said, you're going to pay this guy that's 52 years old to go out and shoot 78, $200 million. God bless you.
Right.
This is the best line ever.
Yep.
Can't wait to see what Phil has. I mean, we'll never hear about it, but what Phil would have to say to Fred about that comment at the Champions Dinner. But knowing Phil, he probably just laughed it off.
Yeah, he doesn't care. The check.
Well, because in Phil's eyes, he won.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, you can't. I don't know, get the best of a narcissist because they will never accept that that's what happened.
But it's like, in golf, Tiger is the pinnacle, like same as basketball, like Jordan's the pinnacle. You can compare Phil to Tiger all you want, but it's the same as like LeBron versus Jordan. But when it comes to like major wins, it's not even a comparison.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. Phil and LeBron are equally just annoying.
And you rarely hear players, maybe one or two, ever say when they were kids, like, I looked up to Phil Mickelson, like he was my guy. It's like, no, you didn't. You were out on tour for 3 years and then Tiger came out and people forgot about you. Yep. And he's just been that stepchild in the corner, a lot like Greg Norman was when Tiger came out or when Phil came out.
Just jealous as shit.
He is. I mean, he's very vain.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Super nice if you meet him at a tournament. I mean, I will say he's one of the nicer guys at a tournament, but thinks a lot of himself.
I suppose you kind of have to believe you're going to hit all these golf shots.
I mean, PGA Tour players, you have to think you're the best, no matter what anybody says. I mean, that's the only way. You look, watch the Netflix. Look at Koepka. He thought he was a world beater, gets beat by Scotty, and it's like the guy just totally lost his mind.
Can't handle it.
Such a mental thing. I mean, it is in all of sports, but golf is definitely one of those mental things where if you aren't there,
Yeah.
I mean, think about, because I mean, a normal game, I mean, of most sports is 2.5 hours, right? And you're talking about being out on a golf course for 5 hours at a time
All
and
day.
trying to keep it all together, and where you might have 12 to 13 minutes after you knock a putt in and go and sit on a tee box and sit there and wait for 12, 13 minutes before you start playing again.
Golf's
Yep.
like the only game, like when that one guy gets into your head, it's like you have no chance of ever beating that guy. It's like that guy's ahead of you. It's like, okay, well, I'm playing for second. Like everybody that plays golf competitively has that one guy that's like, when you see him and you have to play him like in a match play or a 4-ball or whatever, even at your local club, it's like that guy's in my head. I mean, I have a guy like that in my club that's like, I've been playing against this guy since basically I, moved up here, and no matter what, I cannot beat this guy. Like a daily round, sure, but anytime it's something that means anything, when I see that I'm playing him, it's like, yeah, he brings his A+ game, and if I have my A game, I still can't beat the guy. It's just he's in my head.
It's a mental game.
It is.
All right, I'm going to run through these picks in a nice, concise way for the listener and their post-it notes. Smitty's top 20, Smalley, Hogard, Matt Wallace, Bhatia, and Hoffman. Adams' top 20, Biesenhout, Schenk, Cole, Van Ruin, and Dylan Wu. Smitty top 10, C. Woo Kim, Connors, Kuchar, Fowler, and it says Hogard. It says Howard, but we know it's Hogard.
Hogard.
Don't fucking do that to me, phone. We know it's Hogard. Adams top 10, Bhatia, Hostler, Pendrith, Cootie, that's a real person, Glover, and Donald. Smitty, winners, Fowler, Kim, Kuchar, Connors, Hogard. Adams winners, Fowler, Kim, Kuchar, Montgomery, Spawn. I like those.
And
Feel
don't
good
forget
about
about
it.
Davis Love for, I'm telling you,
$250 for every dollar that you wager. That's not bad.
$2,500 for every dollar you wager.
Oh, well, then we're doing that, right? I mean, that'd be a
250
terrible financial decision not to do that.
A top 10 is 18,000. So for Davis Love, I mean,
Man.
if you get him on a top 20, it is 5,000 to 1 for a top 20.
Yeah, we're taking that. I mean,
You
we
have
can't
to.
afford not to. We can't afford not to. All right. Smitty, the wife is probably wondering where you're at. We'll let you get back to your vacation. Thank you, people, for listening. Thank you, Adam and Smitty, for all of your hard work. We do appreciate it. If you haven't already, subscribe to the Fantasy Sports Corp channel here on the YouTube. You're already here, so it's super easy. Tell your friends about the show, stuff like that. You can find all things Patriot Sports and by extension Plus Money Golf on PatriotSportsNow.com. Follow Smitty on the Twitter at csmith8 with an F. Follow Adam on Twitter at ACMillerPGA. The PGA means it's working. All right, best of luck with your bets this weekend. We'll see you right back here for more plus money opportunities next Tuesday, or jump in the Discord and we'll just bet together all weekend. Adam, say something cool that golfers say.
Well, I got a lot of stuff on order, credit trouble.